My friends, finally, after 10 long weeks, this week, my passport has arrived.
Kevinisomoto says welcome to the vlog.
A couple years ago, I applied to renew my driver's license to get the real ID. And so I went to the DMV, did the whole thing, took the photo. They sent me my new driver's license. And now that I'm here living in New York, I have to go through the whole process again in order to get a New York driver's license. Now, one of the things that you need for this is you have to have a passport in order to apply for this whole thing. And for the longest time, the passport that I had was expired. And so I had to go through the whole process of applying for the passport. This week, it finally arrived. And so I thought that this week in the video, I would take you through the journey, my experience of going through the New York State DMV and applying to get a New York identification card. My friends, we are walking over to the library because I don't own a printer, and they have you fill out and submit a bunch of documents for the application for this whole thing. And that's like the one inconvenient thing about not having a printer, is that every time I need to get something, I have to go and track down where there's a printer that I can use. And so we're going to the library because they have like a good little service for like printing documents, like for whoever needs to use it. So, and the reason you need the documents is because they make you fill out a bunch of stuff for proving your residency in New York City. And so I have all the documents I need. I've been collecting them over the past few weeks, months. I finally have everything I need, and now it's just time to go over, print them out, and get these things submitted. One of the things I learned about is that if you're like moving here from out of state, you can have a driver's license from your previous state and an identification card in New York. So you can have two forms of ID from two different states. What you can't do is you can't have a driver's license in both places. So like if I wanted to get a driver's license here in New York, you have to go through the whole driver's license application process. And part of that is you have to give up your previous driver's license from whatever state your other one is from. So I didn't want to give up my California ID. That's just kind of a personal thing. I wanted to keep my California driver's license. Like I did not want to give up the California status. So what I thought was I would keep the California driver's license and instead get a non-driver ID here in New York. It's basically an identification card just without the privilege of being able to drive. So when you go online and you look at the requirements to get this ID, they give you a whole list of like 30 different documents, different possibilities that you could bring in for your proof of residency. Now you obviously don't need all 30 or whatever documents. They only require you to bring in like 5 different things, and they kind of lay it out like you need one thing from this chunk of the list, you need 2 different documents from this chunk of the list, and in total it comes out to like 5 different things. But I think the point is like if you don't have one of the things on the list, they give you different options. So like you have a choice as to what you want to bring in. So the things that I'm bringing in are a W-2, a recent W-2, which just shows like you worked in the city. A recent utility bill, a recurring utility bill from the last year of residency here in New York. So for me, I'm bringing in my most recent electrical bill. I'm bringing in, my third thing is a rental agreement from the place that I'm renting right now. So just kind of showing proof of the fact that you live here. The fourth thing that I'm bringing in is a copy of my social security card. Again, that just kind of shows who you are. And then the fifth thing, which is my most recent find, is my passport, which I just got in the mail. So the passport and the social security card I had to mail away for. They finally arrived, and now we have all of the things that they require. I think, if I understood everything correctly, I might go here and they might tell me that I'm missing something, in which case none of this makes sense at all, but I believe I have all of the documents that they are asking for. And so now we're going over to the DMV, gonna submit all of the things. I made a reservation online. I think when I get there, they're gonna make me fill out an application form. I submit all of my things, and then they're probably gonna take my photo, and then we should have everything all good and submitted. Okay, I believe that DMV is like within here somewhere, I think. So I'm just gonna kind of walk in and look around. So I made an appointment online for this thing, and I went to the DMV here in Brooklyn, and the whole process, the entire thing from me arriving to me leaving the building took exactly 1 hour. Given the amount of people who were present at this place, the whole thing was like fairly organized, I've got to say. Like you enter in and there's a guy immediately there who directs you where to go. One of the mistakes that I made, and I didn't know this until I talked to the person, is that you can't get 2 real IDs. My California ID is already a real ID, so for New York, they were just gonna give me a standard, just regular ID card. And because of that, I didn't need all of this extra documentation of like my W-2 form and like the verification of like the electrical bill, like all that stuff I did not need. I think you do need that stuff if you're getting like a driver's license or real ID. But for my thing, all I needed to show was my passport and social security card, and that was it. They gave me a temporary ID for the meantime, and then according to them, the ID card comes in the mail in 2 weeks. All right, thanks for watching this week's video. Thanks for joining me on this adventure of obtaining my new identification card in New York. It's been year 13, week number 661. Next week on the video will be week number 662.